How you say?
He's good.
Good.
And I want us supposed to come and sign him up. Yeah.
You know what it's like.
And
You gotta share with me. I need you to share with me. Give me one. I need a chip. Come on, I'm ready.
get him.
Can I finish it? No.
Good morning. My name is Julie Duffy and I am absolutely honoured to have been asked to lead this service to assist Kerry's family to say their final farewells to a wonderful woman. On behalf of the family, I would like to thank you for your attendance today and for the support that you've shown to Kerry's family in the past week or so. For those of you that join us online, welcome. We know that it's not the same as you being here, however, we are grateful for the technology that allows you to be part of today's service. We attend today because every single person leaves a legacy, that special thing that defines us as unique, and it's how we will be remembered. Once in a while, someone extra special comes into our lives, and Kerry was one of those people. Kerry was indeed a private person who managed her illness in her own manner, and as such, some of her friends and indeed family members did not have the opportunity to say a personal farewell to Kerry. This service will allow you to say the farewell that you need to as we commence the task of separation. At the completion of the service, the family have arranged for a light luncheon to be served next door, just around the corner in the Oak Room. Please join them and share your stories of your special time with Kerry, especially with her grandkids. Kerry was a wonderful, giving and devoted mum to her children, Grant, Tony, Lee and Sam, and a friend and a mother-in-law to Brett and Donna. Kerry was an adored and an involved granny to Anna, Nicholas, Jacob, Braden, Kayla, Lockie and Riley, and a great grandmother to the newest branch on her family tree, Lucas. We pause and take time to think about Kayla, her granddaughter, who is not here today, but we know that you're watching on. Welcome to you, Kayla. The journey that Kerry has been on for the past 12 months or so has been bumpy and at times overwhelmingly sad and difficult. In her true stubborn manner, she chose to take this journey quietly, with little fuss and very little interference along the way. Her family would like to publicly thank her longtime friend and house companion, Leslie Willis. Thank you for your shared times and your coffees with Kerry and for your friendship to their mum. Over the next few hours, we will take the time to remember Kerry for who she was. You will remember her smile and her laughter and her ways, and the way she conducted herself in her life. You'll recall her essence, who she was and how she ticked. Kerry was a wonderful mum who loved her family to bits. A granny who loved all of her grandkids equally. There were no favourites with her, she loved you all. She was a member of the caring profession of nursing, looking after our most vulnerable, the sick and the injured. She was crafty, clever, turning her hands to making stuff, just stuff for the garden. She was pragmatic, the family finding some solace in the words that she said to them many times about the practicality of things. Life lessons put bluntly, manners are free. And my grandchildren are the reward for not killing my own children. She certainly had a dry sense of humour that could sometimes be lost on those around her. Kerry was born in Melbourne on the 25th of September 1959. She was raised by Ted and Lois Dykes. For a little girl with little or no say in how her life was managed, Kerry had some sadness and many difficulties in her childhood. This did not define who Kerry became later in life, and therefore we will not concentrate on this period of time. She attended the Buchan State School and then later the Bairnsdale High School. In her teen years, Kerry met a local lad by the name of Neil Mooney. In 1975, they welcomed their firstborn son, Grant, followed a mere 13 months later by her firstborn daughter, Tony Lee. With two babies under 13 months, Kerry certainly had her hands full and would comment later in life how supportive her mum was during this time. In 1980, the family moved to Swifts Creek, where Neil worked in the timber mills and the children went to the Swifts Creek State School. It was with joy that their second daughter, Sam, was born in 1983, completing the Mooney family. Kerry was always a worker. With 3 children, she returned to work cleaning the Swifts Creek and the NSA pubs. and at times had cleaning work up on the mountain at Mount Hotham. On the 12th of March 1983, Neil and Kerry married at the Swifts Creek Church. A further move to Breathen occurred in 1988, and the children would now attend the Breathen State School. It was with some sadness that the marriage dissolved in 1993, and Kerry and Sam would now make a new home for themselves in Bairnsdale. Kerry worked where her mother used to work at the geriatric centre in Bairnsdale. Kerry now found herself a single mum with no formal education. She studied hard and graduated as a nurse. It was around this time that Kerry welcomed the first of her grandchildren. An opportunity was afforded to Kerry to take a package from the Geri Centre and enter into the world of private nursing. A move to Tony Lee's home in Sale would allow Sam to attend the local high school and Kerry to travel to Morwell to work at St Lawrence Nursing Home. It was here that Kerry would work side by side another nurse, Leslie Willis. They would form a friendship that would last a lifetime. With Sam making her own ways into the world, Kerry now moved into a shared house situation within Leslie's home. In addition, Kerry would also take on a position with Australia Home Care and Aruma, working with some of our community's most vulnerable as a disability support worker. Kerry loved the interactions with her clients. I see some of them here today, and their families, and the less restrictive nature of the work. Kerry was at her happiest when she was spending time with the grandkids and pottering in the garden. When she ran out of room in her own garden, she just commandeered space at Riversley, building little projects in the garden with Lockie and Riley. The past 12 months have been tough for Kerry as her health failed her. However, she gathered but a few people around her and gave them strict instructions that they would intervene minimally for her and respect her privacy. Independent, determined and headstrong to the last day. Yes, Leslie. Kerry McIntyre, a woman who loved her family to bits, passed away at the Sale Hospital on the 11th of June 2022. Mothers and grannies are unique beings. They come in all shapes and sizes. They actually have a scent of their own that belongs to them. And they have their own way of doing things, and that way is usually the right way to do things. They laugh and cry with us when the rest of the world is too busy to notice. They have eyes and ears everywhere, and they don't miss a thing when it comes to their children. Remember that. But what makes mums and grannies so unique is that they love us first, last, and everything in between. I'm going to invite Sam and Tony to come forward and share with us some words that they've found for today.
You held my hand when I was small. You caught me when I fell. The hero of my childhood and the latter years as well. Every time I think of you, my heart just fills with pride. And though I will always miss you, Mum, I know you're by my side. In laughter and in sorrow, in sunshine and in rain, I know you're watching over us until we meet again.
No, I don't write. I'm actually going to read for Tony Lee. Our mother kept a garden of the heart. She planted all the good things that gave our lives a start. She turned us to the sunshine and encouraged us to dream, fostering and nurturing the seeds of self-esteem. And when the winds and the rain came, she protected us enough, but not too much. She knew we would need to stand up strong and tough. Her constant good example always taught us right from wrong, markers for our pathway to last our whole life long. You are your mother's garden, and you are her legacy. One of the roles that a granny plays without realising it is that they assist our children in finding their identities and integrating integrate them into our community. The special relationship between grandmothers and their grandchild is something truly special. Through this relationship, children learn about their lineage, their history, and many values and skills. This cultural inheritance lays the foundation for children to construct their personality during their childhood and adolescence, and adds great meaning to their existence. I'm going to read something from Riley and Lockie first, and then Jacob's going to come forward. This is from Riley and Lockie, and this was read to Granny when she was in hospital for them by their dad, Brett. Granny, you are so funny. You do amazing projects. I love sleeping in your bed. I love helping you with the gardening. I love it when you stay home with us. I love it when you laugh. I love it when you say yodel taddle yodel. Is that right? No. I love it when you take us shopping. I love it when you're always up for a good night cuddle. I love how strong you are. I love how dedicated you are to family. I love money from jobs on Fridays, but most of all, I love you from me, my granny. You are amazing. I now invite Jacob to come forward and share some of his thoughts with Granny, and then following on from Jacob, all of the grandchildren are going to give Granny a rose to take with her. You might have to
I know Granny could be a bit overwhelming sometimes, or a bit of a grouch, but for as long as I can remember, she's always been that way. And I loved how straight to the point she was with me, and she never beat around the bush to preserve my feelings. In the past 2 years, her and I have grown so close, and it felt like she was my number one fan, whether it was supporting me with my sobriety, or giving me a kick in the ass I needed when I'd say something immature or stupid. And I could never thank her enough for everything she's done. The last chat we had really put a lot of things into perspective for me, and although you told me you were ready to go, forever would have been too soon.
One for you, Kayla. Let us take a moment to reflect on the life of Kerry as you knew and loved her. Time to pause and reflect on Kerry's life. While the music is playing, we'll show you images of Kerry. Some of the photographs show a youthful Kerry, somebody with little or no cares. Some of her flipping the bird. Some of a proud mother. And some of a granny all in happy times. Allow the music to bring forward your own memories. Sit back and enjoy the next few moments. Thank you, Dad.
I took the supermarket flyers from the windowsill. Through the day of tea from the cup. Packed up the photo album Matthew had made. Memories of a life that's been loved. Took the carrot wells in cars and stuffed animals. Poured the old ginger beer down the sink. Dad always told me, don't you cry when you're down. But Mum, there's a tear every time that I blink. back, he'll say hallelujah, you're home. Fluffed the pillows, made the bed, stacked the chairs up, folded your nightgowns neatly in a case. John said he'd drive, then put his hand on my cheek and wiped a tear from the side of my face. Now that I see the world as you did, 'cause I know a life with love is a life that's been lived. So I'll sing hallelujah. You were an angel in the shape of my mom. When I fell down, you'd be there holding me up. Spread your wings as you go. When God takes you back, you'll say hallelujah, you're home. Hallelujah, you were an angel in the shape of my mom. You got to see the person I have become. Spread your wings and I know that when God took you back, he said hallelujah, you're home.
How lovely was that? Jacob, you need to take special care of this presentation. It's the accidental legacy that Granny has left behind for Lucas. When he asked, what was your granny like, Daddy? You now have a wonderful place to stay. On this very sad day, we take our time to give thanks for our time that we spent with Kerry. We return thanks to the earth that sustains us. We return thanks to the rivers and the streams and the mountains and the land that supply us with water and food. We return thanks to the wind that moves the air and to the sun and the moon and the stars that give us their warmth and their light. Today we return thanks to our families that give us their love and support and to friends who stand by our sides. And on this day especially, we return thanks to Kerry for the joy and the love and the laughter that she brought to your life and who will forever remain in your hearts. And so before we leave this place to say our final farewells, let us be thankful for the impact that Kerry had on your life. We are glad that she lived, and we are glad that we've seen her face and felt the pressure of her hand. We are glad that she is no longer suffering and that she is at peace. We are glad for having known her and for the life lessons that she's left us with. Kerry, the thank yous are endless. Thank you for your devotion to family, and thank you for your community service. Thank you for being our mum and teaching us how to be a family. Thank you for being our granny. Thank you for your care of the patients. But most of all, thank you for being you. Could I ask the congregation to please stand? We tenderly and reverently commit the body of Kerry Ann McIntyre for private cremation, grateful for a life that's been lived and for all that her life has meant to us. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Sleep peacefully, gentle lady. There will be no more pain.